You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. I'm going to give you genius fucking economic vision and wisdom, especially with the hat. You know how you can tell an economist if he's good or not, or she's good or not? They wear a hat like this. They got like a suit or a tie. They work for, well, according to our research, I have a doctorate and I've had my dick stuck in academia's pencil sharpener for all my life. They may not know the real world. I'm only half joking, actually. Anyway, you got questions, you can go to assholeconsulting.com. And we have a business question. Not always is it, what should I major in? I have girl troubles. I have boy troubles. Or those are... You should come to me and talk to me because I'm very wise. But this is a good one here. Hello, Cappy. I'm looking for advice on the issue of whether it would be a good idea to start a small business in 2016. I think he means 2017. My biggest worry is that there could be a large 2009-style crash in the next few years due to the business cycle, bubbles, etc. Do you think that is a likely event, or do you think that another slump is not likely with a pro-business president's regards? All right, and he doesn't want his name mentioned. I say, well, okay, what kind of business is it that you're starting? I mean, is it global? Are you selling to China? Are you selling in Korea? Are you buying from India? Are you selling here in the United States? I mean, and sometimes, some products do well in a recession, like booze and cigarettes, cheap booze and cigarettes, and other, luxury goods do not. He says, as for what kind of business, I have a ton of ideas, but I'm leaning towards something that would allow me to keep my day job. So you don't even have an idea. All right, so this is truly academic and theoretical. Something related to internet sales or merchandise or unique craft product, perhaps that would be another question later on. Since you predicted the housing crash of 2008, do you think another one is likely to happen soon and leave me with nothing but debt and no sales? Well, what if you start a business without debt? I'm such a fucking genius, but I'm not, because it's a simple fucking question. Why not start a business without debt? Why do you have to go and mortgage your houses like I saw all these dipshits do when I was in banking to buy a sports bar? I'm going to go and buy me a semi-trailer. I'm going to drive and do it myself. I'm going to mortgage my house once, twice, thrice, even though these fucking retards don't know the meaning of the word thrice. And why not come... I'll get to this later, but you know what makes a really great business idea? Something that doesn't require debt. That is probably the number one key trait, I would say, in entrepreneurship is the creativity and innovation, that you come up with an idea that's so good or so simple that it doesn't need debt. Like, I didn't borrow money. I didn't take a mortgage out or sell plasma to raise the money to start Asshole Consulting. All right, it was actually a joke. And a lot of times you'd be amazed how many times you think it's a crazy, stupid idea and they actually pay off. Look at the fucking... Jesus, look at rap. Oh, shame. I know, there's people that... It is a real music, it is, but I'm just pointing out. Good to be with the sea and the ho. Although I will admit, the originators, Run DMC, the Cypress Hills, that was unique. That did take, but I'm giving people shit. But I mean, it doesn't have to be technology related or internet sales. No one's fucking doing that. No one's drop shipping. Nope, never heard that of before. All right, let's go. Let's focus here, Clary. Since you predicted I have no formal economics training, but I've read that there are multiple bubbles in the U.S. as well as instability in China and the EU. Would you answer my question with a yes, no, wait, see, other? We're going to go other because you are misunderstanding the question in economics. Let me explain to you why I'm the greatest economist in the world. I'm not really, but I'm pretty damn close. Let me explain to you why I'm definitely one of the top 5% of economists in the world. I am deadly serious about this, is because I admit I don't know. Okay? This is the best answer you're going to get. Is it going to be a crash in 2016? Is it a good time up? I don't know. You said, well, wait, Aaron, how did you predict the dot-com bubble, the education bubble, and the housing bubble? What gives now? I knew there were bubbles. I didn't know when it was going to burst. And that's the problem. Nobody knows. Are houses overvalued? I'd have to update my data. Probably a little bit. Nowhere near what they were back in 2005, 2006. Were the dot-coms overvalued? Certainly, fuck yes. Were houses overvalued back in 2005? Fuck yeah. Are liberal arts degrees in college a bubble? You better motherfucking believe it. But the classical saying, the market can remain irrational and ignorant and have its head up its ass, I added that last part, longer than you can remain solvent. All right, so the millennial dipshit kids are dumber than fuck. They're brainwashed. They're going to keep borrowing their life savings away and borrow money from their parents and the state, and they're going to keep that education bubble up. The $30,000 who are desperate to impress their recently acquired trophy wife, they will go and borrow at 3.5% and borrow money from the parents for the down payment and then go work a second job to keep the McMansion going. All right? You don't know when it's going to burst. All you can say is, yes, relative to drivers of value, be it earnings, rents, future starting salaries in the case of the education bubble, profits or the lack thereof when it came to the dot-coms, relative to the price you're paying, to the value these things generate, there is a bubble given the average historical mean. That's how simple it is. That's right. And if you can do that and admit you don't know when the bubble's actually going to burst, what the event is that's going to trigger the bubble to burst, you are in the top 5% of economists. Right? So I don't know. Now, that then changes your perspective or how you want to approach this problem. Because if you want to start a business, anytime anything can happen, let's say if everything was hunky-dory. Oh, the Russians attacked. Oh, shit, didn't see that. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. So instead of waiting for the right time, what you should do is control things that are under your control. You should look at what you do control. And that is what kind of business you start. What are you going to do? Where are you going to start it? Things like that. So I've come up, so it said, to answer your question, I don't know what's going to happen in 2017. It could. It maybe couldn't. A lot of people, I did a great video on why the economy hasn't collapsed yet. And it's because the world is more fucked up than the United States, and we've maintained our federal or our world reserve currency way longer than I thought we ever would. But when is that going to? It'll break. I just don't know when. You don't know what's going to happen. And now what? Venezuela and China doing some hanky-panky deal behind closed doors. And a lot of people say, well, that's going to threaten the world reserve currency. It's going to threaten the dollar. I'm like, no, it proves that they're corrupt as fuck, and people are still going to trust the dollar. That's a whole different argument anyway. All right, so let's focus on what you control, and that is the business you start. There are 3 variables that I'm going to recommend you look at to start a business so that your business is more or less recession-proof, that it doesn't matter what happens to the economy. It doesn't matter what happens, bar global war, and in which case your question is kind of moot. These are the 3 things I would look at, and this is just off the top of my head. If people want to pay me more, they can, but these are the ones, and it's pretty good because you're not going to get in anywhere else. All right, you don't want your business to bankrupt you. I already alluded to that before. Just why not start a business without debt? A lot of the question I hate the most is, what kind of business should I start? Fuck you, you lazy motherfucker. You will never make it in entrepreneurship or business because you don't have the work ethic to go and figure out and answer this question for yourself. That's the hardest part of entrepreneurship, is coming up with the idea. All right? If you, well, I'm just going to go and borrow money and buy an asset. I'm going to go into rental property. Nothing wrong with that, actually. I'm going to go borrow money and buy a sports bar. If you do a good job and you look at the finances, you actually ran a fucking bar in your life before, nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go buy an already existing company like a car dealership. If you ran the figures, you know what it is, and the price is right, yes, that's fine. But if you want something that's actually recession-proof and is clever, is good, and is a really good business idea, you got to come up with that idea. All right, as I said before, asshole consultant, had no fucking clue. A lot of it will be accidental. That's why I recommend experimenting. But the larger point is, with asshole consulting or any of these other kind of businesses, especially online, I like how you're thinking online, because you don't have to expend the money on capital costs. You don't have to borrow money. There's not huge expenses involved with that. I set it up. It was like $200 and 4 hours of my time programming the fine website that you see today at assholeconsulting.com. But it works. I was working a security shift. I was sitting there, had internet access, had my laptop, bought the domain, programmed the website, had my IT buddy set up the email server. Boom, I was in business. I'm like, let's see where this goes. All of a sudden, now we know. It's kind of an interesting. But it didn't cost me anything, a couple $100. So if it failed, I lost money. So what? Silver dollar bikini. It's still a brilliant idea to this day. I think you common lemmings don't, you're missing out. But silver dollar bikini, that was another idea that failed. All right, and all I did was buy about $1,000 worth of silver, another $200 on website and web design, a couple hours setting it up myself, and then it didn't. I mean, I was making sales, but it wasn't worth enough to warrant the time that I was investing in it. But that one failed. What did I lose? You can't even say I lost $1,000 on silver because you get to keep the silver. You know, that has value. But I lost, maybe a day of timing, a day of programming, and internet setting up. What I really lost was that you'd be amazed how hard it is to design a one-size-fits-all silver dollar bikini for women. Like women, I didn't realize how different women. Some boobs go down here, some are perky, some are fake, some are puny. Some girls' asses are like this, some girls, they're tall, their torso, the legs are like this. They're all different. Women are all weird and different. All right, and that took the most time, 2 weeks of my time. That's all I really lost, was 2 weeks of time designing a silver dollar bikini, a couple $100 on internet services, half a day of programming, and then, but it didn't bankrupt me. I didn't borrow against my house. Right? So whatever these ideas are, if you do it cleverly, you do it smart, and there's no debt involved, then you can cast that net out a lot of times. One of them will bite. Right? And then, so there's no financial risk to you. So that's one variable. Another one, you want to start a business that will survive in good and bad times. So here you get kind of a contrarian thing. Bars, booze, your Procter & Gamble's, Heinz Ketchup. You look at these companies, they're very boring, but they're, people buy cigarettes during good and bad times, probably even more during bad times. But what is truly going to inoculate you against a recession are truly revolutionary products or services that everybody needs. Do you think anyone gave a shit about, do you remember the George Bush recession, the first one, that John Kerry said was the worst recession since the Great Depression, and that was in 1999 to 2000. It was after the dot-com bubble burst, and it was such a weak recession, it wasn't a recession. We only had one quarter go down, then it was, I think, 0.1, then went down like another fraction, and then went right back up. Then we had another booming economy. Do you guys remember that recession? Of course not, because you guys don't pay attention to the media politics. But where was I going with that? Oh, during that time, the cell phones were coming out. Do you think that slowdown in the economy stopped people from buying cell phones? No, people were buying cell phones because you needed to have cell phones. So you want to get a product that everybody needs. Something that I don't care what the economy's doing, I need my internet access. I don't care what the economy's doing, I need my insulin. Although that would require a lot of research, and the pharmaceutical industry is already on top of that. But you got to find a truly new, creative, innovative idea that will compel people to buy it. Put it up on top of their priority list before they even bother or worry about food. You're like, no, I need my cell phones before I need my foods and my insulin shots, right? That's the product you want to be. You may, oh man, that'll take a lot. I have to sit down and think. Yeah, you think so? Yeah, you do have to sit down and think. Or maybe I'll just ask her, hey, I'm a 21-year-old douche, and I'm in business. Well, I don't know what business I should do. Can you tell me what I should do? And then like, I'll just take your idea and run with it and make all the money? Yeah. Don't be that douche. All right, third one. You also want a business that's scalable. What do you mean scalable? That you could trial run the idea, that you could float that balloon once before you invest a shit ton of money in a lot of balloons and float them all out and find out, oh no, only they all fail in one shot. For example, I had a client, I'm not going to mention where. He knows a part of a country that's very nice, but there's no cabins, there's no resorts in this area. And he loves this area. He says, I think people would love this area, and I want to go and set up a huge RV park, and then a theme park, and then a rocket ship, space shuttle launching pad, and then put an international airport here. And I'm gonna get 40 franchises from McDonald's and Wendy's, and I got all this money that I saved up. Okay, he didn't want to go that far, but he wanted to get I'm thinking 7 or 8 cabins, some trailer parks. I'm like, whoa, hold on there, Skippy. Why don't you just buy a small little piece of land? in the most ideal place possible in this area of the country you think is underserved. And see if you can rent that out for a solid summer. See how that goes. And there was multiple benefits that would come with it. One, without borrowing $1 trillion to put a space shuttle launching pad, a theme park, a water park, 4,000 cabins, and an international space station all in this place, he could pay for this thing with cash, easy. He would have no risk. He wouldn't have to borrow money against his house or his family or his life. And he would buy this thing and see if that little thing worked. See if that made a profit. And then if that one cabin made a profit, then I say, okay, then you know that you could go ahead and maybe scale it up a little bit. That doesn't mean you buy 50 cabins. You buy maybe 2 now cabins, and you try it at other places. And if those work, all right, then maybe you buy 2 more cabins. You grow it organically, seeing if it works once, see if it works twice, see if it works thrice. And then that gives you an idea, without the risk, without having to incur the debt, that this is a good idea. All right? So businesses that, no debt required, scalable, you can scale them up, and you can trial it first. Those are good business ideas, and those are the ones, these are the traits that are business. I can't give you the business idea because I have none. Well, I have plenty, but I'm not going to tell anybody. Those are the traits that make good business ideas and successful businesses, and ones that are going to be as recession-proof as possible. Because, people don't understand that. They really don't. People are like, oh my God, what if the recession comes and sales go down? It's like, well, if you have a profitable product, then you'll just make a little bit less money. What people really worry about is they borrow all this money so that they have this mortgage that is this fixed expense that doesn't go away. And that's what they really, so they could have a very profitable product, but they just can't cover the mortgage. Well, if you don't have debt, you don't have to worry about the mortgage. Oh, times are a little thin. I guess we just don't go out to Vegas this time. Times are a little light. Maybe we don't get the foot-long luxury sub. We wait for $5 Tuesdays, right? But you're not like, oh, I got to file for bankruptcy because like a dipshit, I knew this one asshole. Oh, my God. He borrowed 100% of his home's value. And he was dumb. He wasn't an asshole. It was my boss who lent the guy the money. It's like, you can't lend 100%. Oh, don't worry. The property value is going to go up. The value is in the house. I found that boss, and she ain't doing too well. It's very nice. There is some justice. There is some fucking justice. But anyway, yeah, so just, no debt. Smart ideas, testable ideas, and then whether or not 2017 economy's booms or not, it doesn't matter. That's a better bit of advice you're going to get in fucking Forbes, the Wall Street Journal, or whatever one of these piece of shit magazines out there with baby boomer. Well, you say with dividend yields at 3%, we can get you 3.5%. And now we interview a really smart, educated guy at Wall Street on how to eke out that extra 0.5% rate of return. Fuck that bullshit. You can follow the baby boomer. Look where the baby boomers got. You go follow that wisdom, all right? Or you could be revolutionary and try some of this shit. Anyway, that's all we got. Best of luck to all of you. Toodles.